From the studio of WTAP Plus, you're watching Women of the MOV with host Phyllis Smith.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the latest edition of Women in the MOV. Today, I have Lindsey Piersol, the Executive Director of the Wood County Development Authority. Lindsey, how are you today?
I'm doing really well. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you for coming. So I know that we see you on the news quite a bit. You are very friendly toward us, which we love. So for people that may not know about your position, can you tell people a little bit what you do for Wood County?
I will. So I am the Executive Director of the Wood County Development Authority, the Parkersburg Wood County Area Development Corporation, and since July, the Pleasants County Development Authority. Okay. So we handle all of those things. Just a couple. It is fun, though. So we do three main pillars. Number one is marketing and attraction for Wood and Pleasants County. Two is business retention and expansion. And three, I call it a catch-all or business concierge. Basically, if there is an issue that a business owner is having or an opportunity that they have, we try to make sure that we're there to hold their hand and help them navigate any opportunities or challenges.
Wow. And how long have you been in that career? I
have been in that job. It was 10 years in March. So
wow,
it's gone fast. Thank you.
So is your background in marketing and business?
No. So people ask me all the time how I got into economic development. And I am from Marietta. I went to Ohio State. I am a law school dropout. I dropped out 5 days before law school started. So I did figure it out before it started that I didn't want to go. And I had an internship at a public affairs and government relations firm in Columbus called Strategic Public Partners. And luckily, when I decided I didn't want to go to law school, they hired me on full-time after I graduated. So I worked there for about 4 years, and I loved it. And I worked an event, and I met who would become my future boss in economic development. And I told him, I said, I don't even know what economic development is. And he said, I can teach you economic development, but I can't teach somebody social skills and soft skills and how to communicate with people. And he's like, so if you trust me, I can teach you that. And honestly, it was fate. I almost didn't take that job because it was 45 minutes from my house in Columbus at the time. And my position before was like a 2-minute drive. Right. And my dad was like, just try it. Just try it out. And it changed my life. So really thankful for that opportunity.
Yes. And so I know that you kind of have a lot of the inside info on what's going on in the Mid-Ohio Valley. Are there any exciting projects that are happening right now that you are able to share?
There are so many things going on in the pipeline. I think one will be able to be announced really soon, and I'll give WTAP the inside scoop as soon as I can tell you about it. But it'll be a big one for the county, and it's in the manufacturing realm. So we're excited about that. There's so much going on, and I feel like people see it online and then they forget about it quickly, or they don't understand the magnitude of it. Like the mall investment. That is a huge investment that they're undertaking, and I know WTAP is a part of that with the food court. And I mean, that whole mall is going to be different inside and out. Big investment. It's not the sexy manufacturing jobs. I get it. But it is a, huge part of Vienna's economy.
Absolutely.
But there's so much going on and so much in the works. And it takes time because a lot of the pieces of ground that we have, people didn't know what they had on it. It's been, passed down family to family, and they don't have geotech surveys or phase ones, and so we're trying to work on getting that information so we can push it forward. But a lot of things in the pipeline.
That is exciting. And so throughout your 10 years in this career, has there been any learning curves?
Every day. Every day. Every year, honestly, there has been something different. There has been a switch. 1 year people want buildings. 1 year people want vacant land to build a building on. Under the last presidential administration, it was EV battery. Then the new administration took over. Those all halted. Now all you hear is data center. So you're constantly learning different industries. Automation is huge. It's always changing. It's always changing. I probably learn something new every single day and have for the last 10 years and 2 months that I've been in this job.
It sounds like you have to be kind of flexible and know what's like going on with the times.
Yeah, when I hired Kate, our assistant director, she's been with me for 7 years. I said, if you are someone who likes to make a to-do list and only do what's on that to-do list or do the same thing every single day, this is not the job for you. I could have a list of 10 things, not get anything done on them, and do 25 other tasks because you're constantly having to pivot and prioritize, and new things come up, and they, other things that you were planning to do take the back burner. And so that's probably one of the most important parts of the job, is knowing how to prioritize and move the tasks around as you see fit.
I know we see you a lot at county commission talking to the commissioners.
Yes.
So I'm sure this job takes a lot of coordination between a lot of entities.
It definitely does. And it's so important, and we're really lucky because the commissioners are really great and supportive of economic development. But in our roles, we work with the 3 county commissioners, 9 Parkersburg City Council people, 7 Vienna City Council people, 5 Williamstown City Council people. Then there's delegates, there's senators, there's staff at the Division of Economic Development at the state. So you have to coordinate with a lot of people when projects take place. And where we sign confidentiality agreements, which we have to, and all of my counterparts, honestly, in the country, have to sign non-disclosure agreements. It's really difficult because there's so much that I wish I could come on here and tell everybody, but I legally can't. And so sometimes when I go to county commission, I give them updates, and it's stuff that I want to be able to say so much more, but we're just not able to do so. So they are really supportive, though, and I'm very, very fortunate to have them.
And are your offices in downtown?
They are. So we're currently above Shams, but we are who is renovating the Civil War Hospital.
Oh.
So we're going to be moving into that in about 2 weeks. It'll be done.
Is that building that used to be the dentist office?
Vision Care Associates.
Vision Care. Oh,
Yes.
yeah, we did a story on that.
Yes.
How can I forget?
It's awesome.
That is a beautiful building.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
when are
you.
you moving in there?
It's supposed to be the first or second week of June that
oh,
we'll be
okay.
moving.
So, like, imminently. That's
Yes.
great.
Very close to being done.
Yes. And so how much staff do you have?
We have 2, and we share an office with Downtown PKB. So there are 4 of us in the office, but 2 different entities. And we are luckily about to hire somebody else. So that'll help us immensely.
Wow, yeah. So can you walk me through kind of what like a typical workday is for you?
Always a little bit different.
Yeah, that's good.
But I'll walk you through what would be a more normal day than not. Number one, we probably get 100 emails a day from different people, and we're always trying to get through, and it's different questions or issues, like
Not even spam, just
not
like
even
actual,
spam, like actual
legitimate
emails.
questions.
And they are legitimate. They'll be from people who will say, they're a manufacturer and they have a huge pothole that's busting semi tires, and they need somebody to come and fix it from DOH, and they can't get a hold of anybody, so we connect them with them. Or multiple times a day we have people looking for property or an office space of different sizes. So we maintain the county property database. So we walk them through that. We do courtesy code and fire walkthroughs within the city of Parkersburg limits with people as they need them. We're starting to dabble in housing. We've been doing that for a couple of years.
That's a big concern in the area.
It's a huge problem area, and we had a housing assessment done. So we've been trying to work on how we attract housing, and so the excess land around the Innovation and Technology Center can hold up to 75 houses. So that's something we've been working on. We had a preliminary engineering report done, and now we're working through the water and sewer, and we're working with the roads. So basically a lot of water, sewer, and roadway talk in our office every single day.
That's important. A lot of infrastructure, like
Yes.
building that from the ground up. That sounds
Absolutely.
labor intensive.
My favorite saying to my board is, just because there's green grass doesn't mean there's electric or water underneath it. That's a really common misconception. People will say, I saw this big tract of land in Washington Bottom, and I don't understand why there's not anything on it. And it's because the closest power line is like 3 miles away, and people don't realize how expensive and time-consuming it is to run electric.
Oh.
So there are really good pieces of property that if I had an unlimited budget, I would wave a wand and get it there. But
Right.
time and money.
Yes. And speaking of projects, are there any projects that you have seen to fruition that you're really proud of or you think really did something special for the area?
I'm proud of some of the projects that I'm most proud of are really small, and some of them are big, right? Like the Hino project was probably my first one back in 2017, 2018, getting them into the former Coldwater Creek building. That was a lot of work, and I was so glad when that was taken care of. But I've also been equally as excited to see some of the smaller businesses go into downtown Parkersburg that, we helped find them a spot and, sent them to where they could get financing. And seeing those things come to fruition is so gratifying, satisfying, however you want to put it, both. Because I think what people don't understand is when these small businesses open, they put everything they have into it. Personally, I mean, I've seen people run up their personal credit cards to buy their equipment because they have so much faith in themselves that they can make it work. And to see them be successful at it, it's truly the best part of the job. There's hard parts about it too. We want to be able to help everybody. I think sometimes people think we have a money tree that unfortunately we don't have. But we really do want to help everybody, and we're very competitive. So when we lose a project, we don't take it very well. But so many things that we're proud of. Probably the most recent is helping Dr. Jackson and the WVUP Foundation with the Innovation and Technology Center. I think it's a generational change for the community. I was really worried about what that was going to be when they abruptly closed in December of 2021, and I don't think it could have turned out better than it did.
Yes, I just had her on not too long ago, too.
She's one of my best friends, and she's amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think does she sleep?
Never.
No.
It
didn't seem like.
She will call me at 8 o'clock at night on her way home, and she lives in Ritchie County, and she's driving. She always has an idea, but she's also the most positive and optimistic person you'll ever meet. So everybody needs a Tori Jackson in their life for sure.
She was very nice, and she was telling me all about that project too. It seems like a great area. It's
incredible. Yes,
they got dorms up there and everything, and then they're building the new elementary school up there too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep, and the road work is supposed to start up there, so there will be a new road in between Lowe's and Sam's Club off of 12th Street that will allow access from Grand Central. So what people don't get as excited about as people like Tori and I do is that will allow the campus to be reached by a Mid-Ohio Valley Transit Authority bus.
Yes.
And so people who have barriers to transportation will be able to take a bus to that campus. And then the Transit Authority donated Tori their best used bus, and nice. She will be she probably will actually drive the bus. It wouldn't surprise me. But they will have somebody take the bus over to main campus. And so those students will be able for the first time to get to main campus off of a bus route.
That's really a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
And you also branch out into Pleasants County?
We do.
Wow. I'm sure that sounds like a lot to juggle.
Pleasants County's a lot smaller, so it's been a bit of an adjustment. We're used to kind of the more fast pace, and they're a slower pace. But I love Pleasants County. My husband's family's from there, so it has a super special place in my heart. And it's
that nice aquatic center.
It's awesome.
Over there. It's really cool.
Yeah, nice marina. Everybody up there that you meet is just the salt of the earth, I swear. But it's been really good, and I think the state's pushing for regionalism, and it just made sense. Their executive director retired, and we picked him up.
So do you spend a lot of time looking at sites, or are you in the office a lot, or out and out and
Both.
about?
I'm 50-50. You're going to find me in the office. Kate says I have to get better about scheduling time at my desk to actually do paperwork and things that need to get done. I have a rule where I make myself respond to people in 24 hours. So if I don't respond to you, something terrible has happened to me, or I did not get your message or phone call. But I spend a lot of time at sites. I spend a lot of time at businesses. I serve on, I think, 9 boards, so I spend a lot of time on boards. Some of them are by statute for my job. Some of them are just personal, like Discovery World and things like that. But I am on the road quite a bit. Yes.
How do you juggle handling all those positions?
Honestly, when you love it, it doesn't seem like work. And don't get me wrong, there are days that you won't hear me saying that, and I probably want to run away a little bit. I joke, but I have a good team. I have a really good board. Super supportive, very helpful. So I don't do it alone. But the boards, I think, are also important that I make them a priority, because they are.
Yeah, that's wonderful. And so you said you're from Marietta?
I am.
So that's nice that you kind of are contributing to the community that you grew up in.
I love it, and I don't see the river as a barrier. I know some other people do. I work well with my cohorts in Washington County, but it made me laugh when I first took this job, because I'm an Ohio State alum, and I used to have that on my license plate bracket. And before I started this job, my dad's like, "Do you want me to take it off?" And I was like, "Why?" Probably the first month I was in the job, I was driving, and a guy was going the wrong way by Huntington Bank and West Banco downtown when you pull through the alley. And he's like, "Go back to Ohio where you came from." I was like, "Oh my gosh." Then I understood what he meant.
That's funny. That's funny. But yeah, we see you on the news a lot, and we always appreciate you talking to us. And
love it. Anytime. Happy to do it. Yeah. I need to have you come up to the building again and see it now that it's not full of dust and dirt. And
yeah, that'll be a really nice place to work in.
It will. It's apparently haunted, but we'll see. We let the guys from Paranormal Quest stay in it for like 5 days, and they did a YouTube video.
Did they find anything?
They say that the top room that is going to be a conference room is haunted. Nothing weird has ever happened when I've been in there.
Okay.
So
is it multiple ghosts or just one, or
apparently just one?
Just one.
So I don't know.
Maybe they chat with the ones from the Blennerhassett
Hotel.
Maybe.
I said, as long as it's friendly, I can deal with it.
Yeah, I can join the conference call.
Be all right. Yeah.
So have there been any, so I know like with a career, you know, you have some good days and you have some bad days. Have there ever been any times where you were really stretched thin, or like something upsetting happened? How did you get through it, if that
Absolutely.
happened?
So
any setbacks you've had to go work around? All
the time in different ways. And honestly, we're all human, so we all have bad days professionally, personally. I'm a big proponent of stepping away and taking a breath for a minute. So I try really hard to, in our office, put family first, put mental health is a big deal for us. So I think that having a supportive board, having a supportive staff, the 3 girls that I work with in the office are my friends and my coworkers. So that part is nice, because when one of us does have a bad day, we always have each other's back. And I think that's really important, because some weeks I see them more hours than I see my husband and my son. So I think it's so important to have good bonds and friendships when you can with people that you work around. But I think probably some of the hardest times for me are just different people's personalities, which I'd say overall I've learned to manage pretty well, because lots of people have opinions about economic development.
Oh, I'm sure.
A couple years ago, when it was like Mexican restaurant and nail salon gate, where every corner, I heard so much about that. And it gets stressful, because we have no control over what private people do with their property. So we try hard to navigate, where people want to start businesses, and it's not my office's job to decide who gets to come to the county. If there's a prospect or a project, it's my job to work with them to make sure that they are as successful as they can be. And we always do that. Probably most recently, some of the harder things have been data center related, and it hasn't hit home nearly as much, but people have very strong opinions both way about data centers, and I absolutely understand it. But what I keep telling people is the legislature passed House Bill 2014. You can't zone them out. You can't put a moratorium on them. So if one would come to Wood County, we have to work with them. And I know there's going to be people upset about that. And so I'm trying to prepare myself, just because it is the EV battery of the last couple years. That's the big hot button topic right now.
Yeah, I'm sure you probably do have to kind of deal with the court of public opinion quite a bit.
Definitely. And I understand, and I try really hard to educate people. If they ask questions, I try to answer them. I think some of the worst situations that I've seen in my 10 years in this job are when people ask questions and they go unanswered because they think something's being hidden or it's not transparent. So we really try hard to explain why things were done a certain way or how we decided to do them or why it's good for the area. And they may not always agree, and I respect that because I don't always agree with everything either. But that is a difficult part of the job.
You probably have to fight a lot of misinformation too.
Absolutely. And the difficult part about that is when you're under non-disclosure agreements, sometimes there's nothing that we can say. But I'll tell you, it really isn't funny, but it is in hindsight. Some of the funniest things I've encountered were before I could talk about a project, what the rumor mill said that they were going to be. And probably the best one was, it was Coldwater Creek, and someone made this fake website that said it was going to be an indoor water park.
Oh,
and
that sounds fun.
It spread across like Facebook. And I remember my own father-in-law was like, I heard Coldwater Creek's going to be an indoor water park. And I said, it's not though. And he said, well, I saw it on Facebook. And I was like, but it's our building. It's definitely not an indoor water park. But I don't know where people get some of this stuff.
Right. Isn't that funny?
I don't know if it's just they make it up or they really believe it. I don't know, but some of them really are funny.
Yeah, it's so far from like not even like half a grain of the truth, just like
But
completely
some
out
of
left
them
field.
spot on. Like when the mall was building Home Goods and TJ Maxx and Ross and PetSmart, somebody tipped. I remember somebody thinking, I was like, someone's had to have tipped this woman off because they hadn't even torn Sears down yet, and people were speculating what was going there, and she named like 2 out of the 4 stores. And I was like, she has to have some connection into it. Or maybe she's just a really good guesser. But either way, some people are really close and some people are really far off.
Yeah, that's funny. Well, is there any, what would you say is like maybe one of the most rewarding aspects of your job?
Working with people. I think seeing growth. I hate the mentality that nothing goes on here because I lived in Columbus for 8 years, and I've said this publicly many times, but I did not want to leave Columbus. My husband did not want to live in a big city. He wanted both sets of our parents live here and my brother and his wife, and he wanted to move home. And so he won the battle. And I'm glad I live here now, and I can't imagine not living here. But there's so much that this region has to offer people, and I think one of the best parts of it is just having a little part in contributing to that. So again, when someone starts a new business or someone comes to us with an idea, whether it be bike paths or, they want to start a nonprofit, they want to start a club. I mean, at one time, Discovery World was just a little idea in Trace and Melissa Ross's mind, and it's now what it is. And those are some of the most rewarding parts. And my son is 5 years old.
Aww.
I want him to be able to move here when he, if he goes to college. I hope he does, or, I want him to do whatever he wants, frankly. But I hope he stays here. I want him to. And I want his friends to be able to stay here. And that's, honestly, I really try when I have projects come to me, think, is this better for Sydney and for the people of his generation? Because it's not about what I want. It should be about what's best for the community. And I think getting to be a part of that is really special.
Yeah, you seem like a really big part of it all.
Thank you.
Yeah. And like at Grand Central, I mean, there's so much business in that area. Like everywhere you look, there's just like a little spot.
And there's more coming. So
yeah,
it'll be really
good.
And
like the water, the Ohio River, I'm sure, does that play a lot into what businesses are? Definitely.
So the fact, I just got back from Select USA, which is kind of a unique trade show. Usually when we go to trade shows with the state, it's industry specific, so polymer or automotive, whatever. This one is put on by the U.S. Department of Commerce, and so it's businesses from the U.S. or internationally that want to do a project in the U.S. So we worked the state booth, and people came to us, and I've never been to a show like it before. But it was really cool because people were really impressed by the waterway system. And you don't realize it, but when someone's from Kenya or, India, they don't know anything about West Virginia. So you're showing them a map and you're saying, we're located within 50% of the U.S. population in a day's drive and 1/3 of Canada, and we have river and rail and this much highway, and they pick up on that. So we got multiple emails back from people we met at the show today, and Kate and I were laughing a little bit because one of them was like, thank you for the very complete information, because we want them to remember who we are. And so West Virginia is a special place. Wood County is a special place. This region's a special place. And I think, like you said, the river is a huge driver of that. You don't have it everywhere.
Yes,
so.
and Ohio's just right across the way. And yeah, there's a lot of good things in the area that I think maybe, sometimes people take for granted or overlook.
Well, and when Columbus has a river, the Scioto, but when I have friends come down in the summer, my husband's family has a river lot in St. Mary's, and everyone's like, it's so beautiful here. And most people don't go to Pleasants County, West Virginia, just on a weekend if you don't have a tie to it, or Wood County for that matter. But once they come here, people really do love it, and it is beautiful. And one of my favorite things to do is take people to Fort Borman. So anytime we have a prospect in, we try to take them up to Fort Borman and just show them the purview from up on the hill, and they're always very impressed, and they'll get their cameras out and take pictures, and it is cool. And I feel like the common person that lives here maybe has forgotten about some of those special qualities.
That's true. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, like I said, I appreciate you having me. Anytime you want to do a story, you let me know.
Yeah.
And we'll do it.
Absolutely. Well, that has been the latest edition of Women of the Mid-Ohio Valley. Thank you again, Lindsey.
Thank you.
And I'll see you all next time.